Hey everyone, do you want it all? Do you currently not have it all? Are you choosing faith over fear? We're going to be discussing that with tonight's guest, and also special for Reawaken Your Brilliance, we are going to have mini readings done. So if you have ever wanted to have that done, now is your chance. You can call in or Skype in or chat a question for our guest, and you won't be shown, and you just need to say your first name and where you're calling from. So tonight's your chance to talk to a real live intuitive messenger. So if you've been listening to Reawaken Your Brilliance, you'll know over the past month or so I've been talking a lot about being vulnerable and how that's a strength and that we should view it like that. And a quality that I have is people who know me really well, I will give you the shirt off my back. And I consider myself to be a real rock and source of strength for all my friends. And if anyone needs help, I'm there for them. But I found it's a challenge when I need help to speak up and ask for help, because I feel like I'm just putting myself out there and being too vulnerable. Well, today I was talking with one of my closest friends, both who is a friend professionally and personally, and she said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I'm feeling a little stuck in my life." And after talking to her, I felt immediately better, because she offered all these solutions because she knows me well, but was also able to see things that I wasn't. And so it just put me in a better mood. I had a solution, and by the end of the day, I was just feeling really excited about some things. So I want to encourage you to always show your vulnerability, but if you're like me and kind of challenged and asking for help, ask for help. That's what your friends and family are there for. So I'll tell you about tonight's guest. Internationally acclaimed, beloved intuitive messenger and spiritual teacher, Vincent Genna draws on more than 29 years of experience in the fields of psychology and metaphysics to receive guiding messages from your soul, God, and the universe. He uses those insights to help you clarify and heal concerns of body, mind, and spirit. A gifted spiritual leader, dynamic speaker, and uniquely qualified counselor, Vincent brings an all-loving, non-judgmental approach to inspire self-belief and to empower you to use all your divine gifts so you can fulfill your dreams and create the life you want. His work has been featured on NBC, Lifestyles Magazine, WRAL, WDCG, and international radio and television shows. Welcome, Vincent.
Well, thank you for having me back. It's been a long time. I remember being your inauguration guest when you did the show, and now how many shows are you into at this point, Julie?
Well, we're almost to a year. I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. Not only was Vincent my inaugural guest for the show, he was on the inaugural panel of the Thrive events I do. So he's just a glutton for punishment, I guess. But
I love it. No, it's a great opportunity, and I'm so happy for you that you've come this far and you've had some incredible guests on, and I know you have more to come. So that's fabulous for you, Julie.
Well, thank you. I wanted to have you back. You were so great to do it when we had a few listeners, and we've grown so much, and I know your message has grown, and I think it's important for you to get out there and get your message. So we will take callers, and Vincent will answer your questions, but I just wanted to ask him a few questions. Vincent, why don't we have it all? What do you say to those people who don't have it all?
Who don't have it all? Everybody has it all. That's the thing that we need to tap into, is the fact that you have everything you need right now. It's a great person had said recently that I heard, "We're like a seed that has been planted here." Now, if you want to be a rose, if you want to be a tree, if you want any type of garden, anything, you plant a seed, and you don't have to tell that seed what to do and how to become what it's meant to become. It just automatically becomes that, right? So we're just like that rose, that tree, that elk, that whatever it is that we want in this life. We've come here already encased as a seed with all these great gifts, with all these great powers, because we are connected to the source, to spirit. And all we have to learn to do is allow ourselves to become that which we wanted to be. And it's a matter of faith. You were talking about faith. It's all about faith and belief in yourself. I mean, that's the primary thing. So when you say, what about people who don't have it all? Those are only people who don't know they don't have it all. They have everything. They have all they need, and they're just believing. I think I just said that backwards. Those are people who don't know they have it all. Okay.
Well, Vincent, I want to talk about choosing faith over fear, but we already have a caller on the line, so I want to go ahead and take that caller.
Right ahead, take the call.
Hey, hello, good evening. Who's this?
Hi, this is Teresa.
Hey, Teresa, where are you calling from?
From Raleigh.
From Raleigh. Well, welcome. What's your question for Vincent?
Well, I didn't know that we were only calling 4 questions. I thought it was for listening, but I'm liking what he has to say so far. I didn't know exactly, is he giving readings on the line?
He is. Yes, it's something we're doing. We don't normally do this, but he's a very talented intuitive, so I wanted him to take questions from everyone.
Good. Teresa?
Okay.
Teresa?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for calling. And I have to tell you, it's not a mistake that your call was picked up on, because I'm sensing a career change for you coming up, which is going to be real exceptional. You've got some really good talent that you're not fully tapping into. I don't know if you've done anything creative in your past. You need to add more creativity into your life now coming up. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So are you excited at the prospect that you can go into your own business and expand now and transition from working with somebody else to now working on your own? Did you have thoughts of that at all?
Yeah, actually, that's what I've been hearing, but I'm not sure what to go into completely. And also, I would like for it to be a smooth transition and not just jumping from one to another, if I could.
Teresa, smooth is relatively speaking and all in the mind of the beholder, okay? What you want to be able to do is you're going to take a big leap of faith, all right? And we're talking about faith, and this is what it is. First of all, do some meditation, because the answer to the specifics of what you're meant to do is within you, and the only way you're going to hear that is through meditation. You don't have to worry about how to get done what you want to do. All you have to worry about is defining what it is that you want to do, and that you want to do something creative and helping. You're a helper, and you're really good with talking. So I imagine that it's going to be something to do with teaching, talking, lectures, counseling, healing. But there's a creative part to you too. I'm hearing music, I'm hearing writing. So all you have to do is say, it's time. It's time. I believe that I'm ready for that next step. And then go into a meditation and ask and say, what is it that I need to do to manifest my greatest experience here? And you just meditate on that daily. You'll get messages, you'll get junk email all of a sudden that sparks a flame within you, and you go, oh my goodness, I wasn't thinking about that. So keep the doors open. It's about ready to happen. Okay, Teresa? I know you weren't expecting this, but you got it.
Yeah, I've kind of been hearing it. I'm a little nervous about it because what I am so interested in is a couple of different things. Like, I like past life regression, and I'm interested in faster EFT. And
you want to develop it?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to develop your psychic abilities?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, you can always, by the way, anybody out there can always get in touch with me through my website at www.vincentgenna.com. And I certainly can help you with that. But you're going in the right direction, hon. So keep that door open and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You just said it. That's what will block you, is fear. Fear is going to stop anybody. So you want to have faith and belief in yourself, because you're connected to the great source. So how could you fail?
Awesome. You hit the nail on the head. I was a little bit afraid that you would go there because, yeah, I want it to be smooth. I don't want to just be fired and then wonder, like, okay, where am I going? Like, what am I going to do, sort of thing. I don't like that.
I understand that. To go into it deeper, we can always do a full session of a reading. Right now, we're only doing just calls, so that way some people can call in. But it just
Hello?
realize however it's going to transition, the universe is going to help you, and it's going to
Hello?
happen exactly the way it should.
Thank you, Teresa. We appreciate it. We've got another call for you, Vincent.
All right, you keep them coming.
Hey, good evening. Who's this?
Hi, my name's Vicky.
Hey, Vicky. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Los Angeles.
Fantastic. I'm going to be out there shortly. What's your question for Vincent?
I'd like to know what he foresees for my future, let's say in the next 5 years.
Oh, you want one of those general 5-year questions, huh?
A good
Okay.
one. I want a good 5-year, 5-year forecast.
Vicky, now do you want me to tell you what I see, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear?
Oh gosh. Okay, tell me what you see.
Okay, here's
Tell
what
me
I
the
see,
truth.
hon. Okay, number one, you're going to change residence, which is going to be fabulous for you because you need to be in a better place than where you are now. That's number one. Number two, relationship. I'm not seeing a full connection in relationship. There seems to be something emotional getting in the way. I think that there's more work. There's a transition coming up for you. So are you, because I'm whenever I see a block in a relationship, I can't tell whether somebody is with somebody or not. All I see is when they're separated from that person. So are you currently involved in a relationship at all?
You know what? I'm divorced, so that wouldn't be such a bad thing to not connect with somebody in the next 5 years.
Emotional blockage. So there's a separation. So this is what I'm talking about in relationship. You're meant to get back involved, but you need to open the door, hon. You need to get that hair primped up again. You need to go out there, put yourself out there, and believe that you're worth a relationship and that you're going to attract in the right one. So there's a location
Wow.
change. How?
Okay. No,
How?
I'm like, wow, okay.
No, not how. Okay. It's just like if I have to teach you how to be a woman, that's going to be extra charge. Okay.
Okay, no, I don't think so.
Okay, good. So that's all coming. Plus, there's also a change in your job too. I'm seeing lots of changes when it comes to jobs for people because they're not really doing what they want to be doing. You need to, again, just like the last caller, you need to define a little bit more what it is that you want to do as a passion in your life and add to it, because that's the direction you should be going in. So the next 5 years, you will not recognize your life, your location, and the person that you're sleeping next to in bed. Okay?
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds, that sounds actually very accurate to, wow, that's pretty good. I'm very impressed.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you. Tell others. That way they can call me too.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Great time in
Take
California. You take care. Okay, Julie, you still there? Oh, you know what? I don't hear you. Now, if I knew sign language the right way, we could do that. I see your lips moving. Did you put yourself on mute? Nothing yet.
And do computers 2K voice via Skype, because like Vicky just called from LA, or if you're in the Triangle area, 919-518-9773. And if you also want to chat a question, Vincent will be able to answer that. So we're happy to take those. So until we get our next call, Vincent, talk to me. How can people choose faith over fear? Because that's not always easy. What if someone's struggling with that? What would you say to them?
Well, there's reasons why everybody is struggling, Julie. Right now is a time period universally for everybody. It's an opportunity for everybody. What's happening is our souls, the universe, the God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, is working together to help us to heal. We know that there is a lot of work that needs to be done out there. And in order for the world to heal, individually, we need to heal. So the universe knows that. So what's happening is it's shaking things up. I have people sitting in front of me that they're in their 60s or 50s, and all of a sudden, residual stuff from their childhood is coming to the surface where they thought that they dealt with it, and then actually they didn't. So what's happening is any of the residual stuff that you've not worked on in your life is being brought to the surface for you. All you have to do is recognize it. So if you're asking me, how do you get more faith? You start. You start by believing. You have to start somewhere. We've bought into the garbage and the crap of life. And there is a lot of garbage going on out there. We have to admit that. We cannot ignore that there is garbage. There's been too many spiritual movement things that like to make everything fluffy, and they feel that if you acknowledge any negative whatsoever, you're going to buy into it or you're going to create more. That's not true. You always need to know if there's a brick wall in front of you that you're about ready to hit, or that a building is falling on top of you so that you can run out from underneath it, okay?
We've got another caller for you, Vincent.
Okay, all right, that sounds good.
Okay. Hey, sorry, didn't want to interrupt. I promise we'll continue it. Hey, who's this?
This is David. I'm also from Los Angeles, like the last caller.
Yay, David from Los Angeles. What's your question for Vincent?
I want to make more money and be happy.
Okay, which do you want to do first? Be happy or make more money? Well, now, before you answer this, David,
I got to say I'm 50-50.
Okay, it's very important that you answer this correctly, because that'll determine if you get both of them or none of them.
Yeah. Okay, so that question. All right, so I guess the higher spiritual path is to say, well, I want to be happy.
All right. Well, you're just saying that, but here's the thing: abundance can be there for everybody, and that's finance. But there's only one reason we focus on money, and that's because of our fears that we're not going to have enough. So what you want to be able to do is you need to focus on what creates enough. And what creates enough and abundance are those spiritual beliefs, David. So yes, you've got both coming, but you definitely have to strive for what makes you happy. And happiness, by the way, is a state of mind. It's not a condition. It's not a result of something that you do. It's actually a choice. You can either choose to be happy or choose to be unhappy. And then when you're in that happy mode, that's when you can tap in and start creating abundance for yourself, and just believe it's going to be there and it's going to be coming in. Like, what do you do for work right now? Because that's the part that I'm skeptical about. I'm not seeing you do the right work right now. I'm seeing an expansion needed if you want to bring in more work, more money.
Okay. Well, can I ask you, like, what picture do you see as far as, what steps do I need to take? I understand making a decision, be unhappy or happy, make the decision to be happy, but what is the actual industry, business, taking the steps? What do I need to do?
Industry, business. Okay, so in other words, then you don't know what that passion is within inside of you yet. But just so that you know, I don't know if you've done any writing in your past, but there's a book inside of you. I think if you sat down and you decided that you were going to be a writer for some time, I see a book coming out and that being successful. That's number one. You've got many different talents. Have you ever done anything with music in your past?
No, not really. No.
Okay. You've not even at one time in your life like picked up a guitar or fooled around?
Well, at one point in my life I picked up the guitar, but I have kind of a bad arthritis in my hand, so it's really hard to play the guitar. So, but I don't really, but not to say that I ever really played it well. I just happen to have a guitar. Well,
you also happen to be inclined creatively, and that's the reason why I saw a guitar, but I'm not seeing other creativity in your life. So the industry that you need to go into, number one, is writing that I'm seeing. Number two, you need to meditate more on it, because there's something that you're going to be talking, training, teaching somebody. So whether there's something technical that you know how to do that you can teach somebody else to do, you would be good in contracting in that. I see you as an educator in different areas. But I see you fixing things also technically. What's been your background as far as a technical work?
Oh, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is, I do a lot of remote viewing. I mean, that's like my technical stuff. I mean, I guess kind of like
And
psychic
what
stuff,
do you do with remote viewing?
I just do stuff with it. I mean, I do stuff.
All right,
I mostly wager on the stock market, and I wager on sporting events and the stock market, and the euro against the dollar, and the U.S. 500, and I do that kind of stuff with my remote viewing.
So here's what's happening is you're playing the money game, and a lot of people wind up doing that because they feel that that's a way that they can bring in some. And it's obviously, you understand how risky it is. And when you ask, when am I going to be bringing in more money? Obviously, you're not. And so my answer to you again is going to be the minute you step out of that and start going towards a worthwhile, fulfilling a passion rather than an emotional need. You need money, and you've placed a lot of value on making money rather than on passion in your life. Otherwise, you would have never asked me, when am I going to be happy and when I'm going to make a lot of money? So that's an indication that you need some direction for yourself. And if you go and meditate on it and tap in and start reading some other books, I know you're knowing some spiritual concepts, but you're not using spiritual concepts. So, because if you were using spiritual concepts, you would be going into something much more fulfilling, rewarding, and meaningful to even other people rather than you dabbling in the market. That's all chancy hobby stuff, but it's not really meant to be a career. And most people who do it are very unhappy and have not been successful enough at it. And if they have been,
I'm successful at it. I mean, I'm not wagering lots of money, so I'm not getting huge return. But no, I'm actually making money at it.
Okay, well that's good. So as long as you want to know that, then you just keep going as long as you're going in that direction. But if you want to make more and be stable, then you need to pursue a passion instead.
Excellent.
Okay, so that would be writing. That's what you see?
Writing is one of the things that I see in education. You might even, with what you do with remote viewing, you might be able to teach that to help people. So put something together. It's not just about what you stick in your pocket anymore, because that's not going to work. It's what's going to heal this universe, and what the universe and everything is working towards, as I was saying earlier, is doing something that's more impacting for others as well as yourself. So turn this into a business for yourself. Maybe that's what you're writing. You're going to write a book on how you can trust your money in your bank, whatever. You understand what I mean?
I thought if I was going to be a writer, maybe I'd write comedy. If I was ever
Then
going to
write comedy. Whatever you want to do, write comedy.
Excellent. Well, thank you for calling, David. We appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Great show.
Thank you. We've got a question on chat for you, Vinny, and I want to remind our chatters, we've got a lot of people on. If you chat the question, I will ask it, and Vinny will answer it. Vincent will answer it. Sharon would like to know, I've been working on building a school for kids at risk. Do you see anything I need to focus on to help it along?
Yes, you need to bring in supporters who's going to help you finance it. I'm seeing a couple of people you're talking to. You need to do either grant writing, and Julie knows about that stuff, or just put your word out there, open it up more to the public, because I'm seeing that support needs to come in for it financially, and I'm seeing money come in to help you with that. So it's going to expand. You're on the right track. Now you need to believe in your heart you're the successful one for this perfect business. It's perfect. It's you. You're a success already. And when you believe that, it will expand. Okay? So that's my answer to Sharon. And tell me if she writes anything in. And in the meantime, a lot of people, just like this last caller, you could be thinking you're on the right track. But one of the things that we need to understand is if your life isn't going exactly the way you want it to go, something's getting in the way. And it's usually a self-belief. A lot of times we don't believe what we think we believe. So even in finishing my question before for you for faith and getting faith, first we have to face what we're not believing. And we suppress that and we push that aside. And our our defense mechanism builds in our brain that we have these certain beliefs. Oh, yeah. Oh, I understand spirituality. Oh, I understand the law of attraction. I'm doing all of that. But my life is miserable. Well, you're not doing any of it then. All right. So you can determine to the extent of what you're believing in, to the extent that it's successful in your life. So we have to acknowledge those things sometimes. And that's a little bit harder for people to do. So did she write anything back, Julie, on that?
She did. I'm ready to say it. She says, "Thank you, Vincent. I have been working with a couple of people who've been promising funding. Just haven't figured out what I need to do to help move it forward."
Believe. You already are moving it forward. It's already going. Believe that you're the best at this, and it will continue to move forward, and then the next step will come right after that. There is nothing you have to technically do to make this work for you. It's working great. Have faith. That's the key word tonight.
Have faith. And I want to remind everyone, you can chat a question like Sharon did. You're in the Raleigh area, call us at 919-518-9773, or we had a couple callers from Los Angeles who Skyped in at Computers 2K Voice. So whatever question you have, Vincent will be happy to ask it. And come on, this is a great opportunity. If not, we have to talk about my love life, and I really am not in the mood to go there tonight. So I know we will have some people calling in with questions.
We could go there for general for everybody, because that's been a big question for everybody today. And truly, the reason why it is so difficult these days is because so many people, majority of people, are really unhappy and unfulfilled in their lives, whether they're single or whether they're even attached with somebody else or dating or married. And so it makes it that much more difficult for two people to come together, because you're supposed to be fulfilling your own emotional needs. You're supposed to be giving to yourself that which you're looking from somebody else. And until that occurs, there's always going to be conflict in attracting the right person, in maintaining a relationship with a person. We're just seeking and needing too much. We feel very deprived of love. And so we're turning to people who are also feeling deprived of love. So now you have two deprived people reaching out their hand to each other. So who gets fed this love? And so both are missing out. You have to heal yourself. Obviously, if you're seeking love, it's because you need love and you were deprived love. Love from growing up, love in your childhood, love as you became older, and it compounds and compounds. So you've got all of these people walking around that they really do want to share and they want to be in a relationship, but there's so many other things getting in the way. What we really need to do is we need to lighten up. We need to lighten up the need to have to be in a relationship in order to make a relationship happen. You know how you go with your, Julie, you've experienced this, I'm sure. You go with your girlfriend because they're going to the mall or she's going to the mall. She needs, there's an event coming up and she needs to get a dress, right? And you're just tagging along for the fun of it, all right? And she's, you see as you're shopping along, looking in the store windows, oh my gosh, that's a beautiful dress there. I'd love that one day. Oh, look at those shoes. How great are those shoes? And that necklace, fabulous. Oh, great. And you're all done, you go home. Now you have an event. And now you have a need. I've got to get an outfit. The minute you go shopping with that need, I got to get an outfit, you never find that beautiful dress, that pair of shoes, or that necklace that you happened upon the last time, and you wind up having to settle. You become desperate. You become stressed out on what am I going to wear? I've got nothing to wear. Well, that's actually how people go into relationships. When you don't need one is when you find them. You bump into them at Walmart or at Whole Foods. You're at the melon counter and you're squeezing melons and the guy next to you drops his on yours. I mean, that's a nice TV show, but that happens. That really does happen when you least expect it. It's when you want it, need it, and are timing yourself down. All right? On this age, I only have this many more years left.
Stop reading me, Vincent. Stop.
I'm not reading you. There's several callers out there that I'm reading.
Yeah, that's all right. I had to yell that out. Well, that's actually very interesting because a man asked for my number last week. I was out at an event It wasn't a singles event, and I did not see it coming. I've known this guy, we're friends, and I guess my mandar's off, but I was pleasantly surprised, but
All right.
I wasn't expecting it.
More importantly, did you give him your number?
I absolutely did. I'm still waiting for him to call. He'll either call or he won't. It's all good.
Right. So you know what? You don't even have to wait for him to call. You don't even have to worry about it because we timed that too. We go, okay, well, I gave it to him on Monday. Today's Wednesday. How long does it take for him to figure out whether he should take me out on a date or not?
Oh, I think I'm going to get saved by the bell. We have a caller. Hey, good evening. Who's this?
Hey, Julie, this is Robin.
Hey, Robin. Where are you calling from?
The Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill. What's your question for Vincent?
Well, my question is... I need to turn down the sound.
Yes, you have to. If you are calling in and you still have the computer up, you need to mute it so we can hear you.
I'm muting it. Anyway, I'm sort of at a crossroads in my life. I spent many years working with a son who has special needs and trying to help him with getting independence. He's now 22. I also am just ready at my age in mid-50s to branch out and develop my business and, be an adult again. So what I'm looking at this sort of crossroads period, my son is still living with us, and I'm kind of ready to run with other things. What do you think about this?
I think it's fabulous, but you have to recognize that in a role change like this, there is a transitioning period where you need to just let things settle down without any ideas whatsoever as to what to do, because you don't want to jump from one thing right to the other thing real quick, because your body, your mind, your spirit has to just let go of what you just
Vinny, we lost you. You're stuck.
All right? You've been a caterpillar. You've been doing all of this work. You are now putting together and have put together your cocoon. So you're in your cocoon and you're turning into the butterfly. So sometimes in the cocoon, we feel that gooiness because that's exactly what happens to a caterpillar. It breaks down. So here's the thing. You are ready, and it's going to explode on you, which is why you need to prepare yourself now. Building up you specifically mention your desires, write them down, journal them, what it is that you really would love to have at this point in your life. You're going in that direction. See, there's a lot of creativity that people have that they don't realize. And I'm going to say this for you too. The experience you had as a parent with a special needs child, I know there's a lot of books and stories out there, but there's none like yours. There's none like what you can say. And I think that there's some help that you're meant to give others. I think your role as the caregiver is changing, but not your role as the mentor teacher. It's not changing. I'm seeing you still teach people different things, but part of this as well. So I see you incorporating some of this, like it may be a story, it may be a book, it may be a guide, it may be, it may be how to transition out of the role of being a caregiver to a special needs child after 50 some odd years. You know what I'm saying? I'm just seeing a creativity coming out of you very strong. You're very good with talking and people. You're going to be in front of people. And I don't know if you've done lecturing in the past. I see you're standing at a podium and you're doing special events. I'm not sure what these events are, but it's not so much like, a spiritual workshop. It's more of a formal event for an institute or a business talking about some of your experiences. Now, have you had any speaking experience in your past?
A little bit, but this is absolutely incredibly amazing because I was just invited. I'm with a company, and I was just invited to come speak at a training event for the East Coast for this company, and it will be my first time to be on a big stage. The only thing I've done in the past is like small groups.
Nah, you need big stages, hon. Don't worry about it. You're a big person. You're a big person. You've got a lot to say, and you've got a lot you can help with, and that's what you're meant to do, and that's why I saw that just now. So that's to validate that this is going in the right step and probably expanding you in a direction you weren't thinking.
Well, this is exciting, and thank you so much. And I'm going to carry that image of the caterpillar turning into the butterfly with me. That's a wonderful image.
I'm glad. I wish you all the luck. You're coming from my alumni city over there. I was a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill, so I have a fondness for everybody in Chapel Hill.
Yay.
Thank you for calling,
so
Robin.
much.
And I want to remind everyone, you can call in at 919-518-9773 or Skype Computers 2K Voice or chat in a question, and Vincent will be happy to answer. We have a quick question, though, from I Am on chat. He wants to know what you think about online dating. What are your thoughts on that, Vincent?
Well, I don't partake in it because I'm married, but I think it's fine. Online dating, any line dating, just open the doors. And here's what I find, which is really interesting. People do use the internet because you certainly can get across to a lot of people at one time. But with 7.3 billion people on the face of the earth today, I doubt that you will go to the stores or to an event or to a meetup group and there be nobody there. I bet you run across at least 50 to 100 people every day at any given time. So yes, you can do internet talking and getting involved, but you're still not putting yourself out there. Join groups. Back in the old days, we used to go to bars and hang out. That's how you met girls, okay? That's how you met guys. You went to a dance club, and if the guy could dance, then maybe the woman was interested in you, and vice versa. Today, that's not the world. But what is the world is social networking. There's social groups out there. Whatever your hobby and interest is, you want to attract somebody who has that similar interest so that you're in the same book and on the same page and hopefully eventually in the same paragraph. The only way to do that is by going out. Now, I'm sorry, what was this person's name?
I Am.
I Am. Okay, I Am. If you have enough time to sit at home and chat online with somebody, then you have enough time to get yourself out and join some type of meetup group, some type of social group, networking group, some type of special interest group, and there's where you're going to really meet people. So the answer to your question is the person of your dreams is at a meeting you're going to attend. So get out of your house and Google all of these places locally and go join them, because that's what you need to do. And the other thing you need to do is stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself, because I'm getting a very poor feeling of self-image. I don't care whether you're 500 pounds overweight or whether you're emaciated or whether you're an Adonis, okay? I Am. You need to love who you are, what you look like, your appearance, your image, and then get yourself out there publicly. Force it on yourself, okay? Don't keep yourself cooped up in your house. That's what I see working against you. That's my answer to you, okay?
Well, I like to go around the house and sing I'm sexy and I know it. It seems to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
Hey, if the M&M can do it, I can. Now, hey, Vincent, we have another question for you on chat from Ruby. Says, I have my house in foreclosure. What is the possibility of keeping it?
Well, I'm getting a feeling that you shouldn't have had it to start with, okay? I think that when you went to first buy this house, there may have been some messages from the universe and your soul trying to dissuade you from getting this house, okay? And it could have come in all different forms, a difficult closing, trying to get financing approved, getting a different bank, whatever the case may be, it did not fall into your lap easily. That was a sign that this was not the house to be in. So, okay, so you're in it now, and now you've got this foreclosure thing going on. Something is telling me you still need to leave. I'm not happy about the energy there. I'm not happy with some of the things that have gone on in your life right now. And I'm kind of feeling the negative energy dragging you down, and you need a new life. You need to start all over again and not be fearful and not be shameful and not feel that you've lost anything. Really, it's going to take years before any of us recoup what we've lost in these homes. More importantly is the idea of starting all over and knowing and having the faith to know that you can do that. And I really believe that that's what you should be doing, okay? So step away from the home, give it up, let it go. I think that that's going to be the best thing for you, even though it's not necessarily what you want, okay? I'm sorry, it's not exactly what you wanted to hear, but I try to tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear. I'm sorry, okay?
All right, Ruby, let us know if you have any follow-up questions or comments for Vincent, and we'll be happy to pass those along. So, how can we love ourselves more? You had talked earlier to I Am about looking in the mirror and loving if you're 500 pounds, if you're Adonis. What would you say to people out there struggling with that?
Julie, we spend so much time telling ourselves who we're not and what we don't like about ourselves. We can spend the same amount of time telling ourselves what we do like about ourselves. I guarantee you, if you're not behind bars, if you're not selling drugs to kids, or if you're not molesting little kids, well, let me see, if I keep going, I'm going to have a whole long list of that. Chances are there's more great things about you than they're not. You need to turn around and look behind you. Every time I hear someone say, you know, I take one step forward and 2 steps backwards, and I'm just so discouraged, I'm like, wait a minute, have you ever turned around to really see where you've come from, to see if you've stepped that far back? I promise you, you've not stepped that far back, and I promise you, you've come so far. So every person, no matter how bad they feel about themselves, needs to turn around and look behind them. Look at your past. Look where you came from, all the garbage you went through, all of the pain, all of the trauma, all of the abuse, and look at who you are today. Why do you need to be a Bill Gates in order to feel successful? Okay? It's not that Bill has money that makes him successful. It's what he does with his life that makes him successful, and the abundance is there. For example, there are people like the Trumps, like the Kardashians, and all of these wealthy people that are miserable. So don't compare yourself to society, what we think is success, and then measure yourself up to that. You only have yourself to measure to, and I promise you, you are so much further along in your life than you started 10, 5, 15, 20, 40 years ago. That's how you start to love yourself. Then start paying attention to your qualities, okay? Now, we're supposed to be able to love our weaknesses too. We're not all perfect, but you know what? So what? So sometimes I say dumb things. Sometimes I fly off the handle at things. Hey, that's okay. Those are things I can change and I grow from. I still unconditionally then like that. Yeah, I'm getting older, so now when I look in the mirror, I see more lines. But guess what? I like those lines. I deserve every single one of them. Every one of those lines is a mark in my belt for what I've accomplished. My gray hair, God, I love my gray hair because it says I've got more wisdom than I had before. I can sit here and tell a complete story about myself as to why I should love myself. That's what you need to do for yourself. You need to tell yourself the story of how special little Joey is, David, Julie, Cynthia, Gabrielle, whoever you are, you need to tell the story of where you've come from and how great you are. And remember, your beginning story, all that trauma, is just chapter 1. It's not the whole novel. You came here to write a novel, okay? This beautiful novel, however, whatever type of novel you want to write, however you want to do it. Your story, your childhood, your torments is chapter 1. Every novel would be boring if it didn't start from some horrible, down, dark place. And then all of a sudden you see the person growing. You know, if Oprah Winfrey started her book, I was a successful talk show host that gave millions to the world and then ended, it would be a boring book. But she starts off with her story of how she was given up by her parents, how she was abused, and where she came from, right?
Absolutely.
Each one of us has that story, Julie. That's chapter 1 of a beautiful novel. So you need to love who you are, all that you can become that you're not yet, that's still in there. It's there. It's not like you have to put something in. And we're magnificent beings. Strip everything away. And just from the mere fact alone, here, I heard this. Deepak Chopra said on Oprah when he was doing his last interview, God did not create the universe and man. He became it. We are source, we are spirit, we're a greater force, whatever you want to call it. That alone should give you reason to love yourself, because that's a magnificent, incredible being. And then all the power we have, all the creative ability we have on top of all of that because of who we are, that's a whole bunch of stuff to love about yourself. So you got to start somewhere. So start picking those things. Pay attention to where you come from.
We have a couple questions for you on chat. Ruby had a follow-up question. Should I sell my house to my family?
If they want to buy it, I just need to see you get out of there, Ruby. You can sell it to them if they want to buy it to help you out. And if they're able to help you out, then why don't they give you some money to help you pay for some mortgage? I just need to see you leave. You need to leave. So whatever the case may be, sell it to them, but get out of there, okay? There's just a negativity around that I'm just not feeling thrilled about, okay?
And we've also got a question from Chucky. I want to make more money. Where is my fortune?
Down the drain, Chucky, just the same as that question. You know, to you people, if you want to ask a question, are you telling me that if God appeared before you right now, right in front of you, this very moment, the best question you're going to come up with to God is, where's my fortune? He's going to tell you you've got it or you squandered it. You're either one of the prodigal sons or you're the son who put it away. So if you're not bringing it in, then you squandered it. Go home and find out who you really are if you want to bring in more money, Chucky. Okay? You need a better question. Ask a better question, and I can tell you when you're going to get more money. How's that?
Okay, that you pretty much laid that out. So Chucky, if you want to ask your question or follow up, please let us know, and I'll be sure to ask Vincent that. And I want to remind everyone, if you want to call in, 919-518-9773, or Skype in at Computers 2K Voice, and he will be happy to answer any of your questions. So, Vincent, we all come to you for questions, or I should say we bring our questions and want answers from you. How can we tap into, we know everything. We have everything we need to know in here. So how do we tap into that? What's your advice?
All right. The first thing is you've got a logical mind and you've got your intuitive mind, your left brain and your right brain. All right. The thing that works first is your intuitive mind. You will always get a gut feeling before you get a logical thought. And the reason being is that all answers come from within, all questions, all inspirations come from within. So you feel something. You go, ooh, what is that? Now you need to label it. And that's when you use your logical mind. And you go, okay, I'm getting a sense that I need to leave here because this isn't really good gathering a good group of people. I'm just not happy about this. I need to leave. That's it. So you got a feeling first, and then you use your logical mind to label it. Now shut up and trust it. There's where our problem is. We listen to the logical mind, then it goes on and it goes, you know what? Nah, that's just my imagination. I'm just being dramatic. No, I should stay here. And then before you know it, you wind up getting in trouble. Something happens. There's a fight that breaks out. You're a part of it. Whatever. Trust. Thomas Troward is a famous philosopher from the past, from the 1800s. And he wrote an entire essay on self-reliance. The way you get your answers is to start trusting your voice. Right or wrong, you trust your voice. You trust your gut. You trust your feelings. Don't start just listening to everybody else. Even when you come to me for answers, don't listen to me. Hear them. See if they resonate with you. See what they bring up from within you. But don't just believe me. Let my words lead you to yours. And that's what you need to do. You need to trust your words. As you do, they become stronger. Your inner voice becomes louder and louder, and your logical mind stops interfering, and then you won't make those mistakes that you're so afraid of making. But you can't hear your voice if you don't trust your voice. That's what trust is, Julie, by the way. Trusting other people is a fallacy. It's a misnomer. There's no such a thing. You can't trust another human being because you absolutely have no idea to predict, unless you're a psychic, what he's going to do from 1 minute to the next. So the word trust has actually nothing to do with another being. It has to do with trusting yourself. So that's how you listen to your voice and how it gets stronger. Trust it. Even if you go into a brick wall, so what? You back up and move, go on another path and try it again. But keep listening to your own voice. It's the greatest gift you've got.
We've got a follow-up from Chucky. He said, that's my question. I really want to know where my fortune is. If you don't know, that's okay. But he felt it was a little bit mean, your
Chucky,
response.
your fortune is when you decide what your passion is. That's the thing. That's when your fortune will come. Yes, I know you feel special, and yes, I know you feel you should be rich. That's your soul telling you should be doing much more than asking where your fortune's coming from. It has nothing to do with that I don't know what the answer is. The answer is you're not going to get your fortune until you fulfill your passion. And your passion is not making a fortune. Your passion is something else. So as soon as you tap into that, you'll make your fortune. That's my answer, Chucky.
Okay, well, what then would you say, this is my passion. Doing this show is what I want, that I feel like I have finally found what I'm meant to do. And I'm passionate about it, and I put a lot of time and energy, but as far as a financial windfall, that hasn't happened. So what would you say to someone like me that's out there who has found what they want to do, but, no money?
Here's the thing. You may be interpreting some of the passion, but directing it in the wrong way. All right. So if it's not this TV show that's working, that's meant for you to develop and get your windfall from, then that means it's another direction you're supposed to go in, but still having the same passion. I'm sure your passion isn't just to just, I want my own television show. Your passion is, I want to reach as many people as I can, okay? I want to be able to help. So now you need to open up the doors, because now the universe may say, you know what, Julie, I have a better way of you reaching people than what you're thinking right now. So, but if you're not going to let go, if you're not going to free yourself of that, then I can't direct you to where you're supposed to be. And so many times, like I said, we think we know what we know. We don't always know, because our interpretation has to get filtered through all of that other stuff. But I believe you're definitely on the right path of your passion. I do believe, though, that you may be in a different direction. You need to get on another path and open the door to get directed as to what it is next to do. That's what I would tell somebody. Whenever you hit a roadblock, that means it's not a roadblock, it's a detour. There is no road that ends in this life. It's not like the real world where you can come to an end of a road and then there's a cliff and you just fall off. It's not the way it is. If you come to a wall, then turn. That's what you're supposed to do, is turn, so that you don't hit into the wall. So we have not grown used to knowing how to turn anymore. Flexibility. So we turn around and we go, hey, I'm really happy in what I'm doing and I want more of it and I'm putting it out there. Tell me what it is that I need to do next to manifest my greatest experience. Tell me what it is. I am willing. And then we have to let go of the criticism. Okay? We criticize things too much. We critique it. We judge it. All right? We judge ourselves is what we're really doing. And then what we wind up doing is judging others. When we've got that all cleansed, you got to cleanse everything in your life to get on the right path. You just can't cleanse the driving part. You know what I mean, Julie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what I've been telling people, it's like in this. Take a hose, a big hose, attach it to the spigot. Turn the spigot all the way on. Well, that water coming through is source, is spirit, is God. Full force, ready to be used with that hose, whatever you want to do with it. Wash your car, wash the house, take a drink of water, water your flowers, water the grass. If there is any crimp in that hose, no matter from what, it stops the flow of that force of water to be used on everything. All right? There's a kink in it. So we need to work on ourselves 100%, body, mind, spirit. So if there's one area of our lives that are unfulfilled, or that there's a pebble in, that's going to affect our career. That's going to affect our relationships. That's going to reflect in our finances. We need to clear that all out. So we work on the core. That's why I constantly work on self-belief, and I work on everything that keeps you from believing in yourself, getting rid of it from that core, and paying attention to everything that makes you feel whole, divine, and a creative force. So that's my answer in a nutshell.
Okay, we've got a couple questions for you on chat. Ruby wants to know, do you see where I'm going? If not here, since you have recommended that she get out of her home.
West of where she is. West of where she is right now.
Okay,
That's all
Ruby,
I can say.
we need you to answer that. And while I'm waiting on Ruby's response, what do you know says, a lot of people have asked about money today and your answer has been the same, find passion. What happens if I don't have a passion? I just want more money to live my life. What say you, Vincent?
Okay, what I would say is you haven't found I know you're saying you found your passion, then you don't believe you can completely fulfill your passion. Everything you want, if there is anything blocking it, and that's why my answer is always the same, you're getting in your way. All right? Now, here's something about passion that people have to understand. You know those people that you always see audition for American Idol that really shouldn't be auditioning for American Idol? They think that they're great singers. Well, there is a phenomenon that happens that causes that in people. Sometimes you latch on to something thinking it's your passion because it makes you feel good about yourself, thinking you're successful at it or that you're doing it right. If you're coming to that brick wall and you're not fulfilling that passion, then number one, it's not a real inner passion. It was an emotional need more than anything else. Or number two, you're getting in your way because you don't think you're good enough to completely fulfill that passion to the level you want. Those are the only two. I promise you, it has nothing to do with the environment. It has nothing to do with a ghost getting in your life and cursing you and getting in your way. It has nothing to do with an old family member putting a curse on you. It has to do with your belief. And here's the thing. An open person, you have the chance of growing when you go, that may be possible. But if your response to my words now are, oh, but I do that, then you just validated my answer. because you need to be open, not closed. And every confident, self-loving person is capable of saying, you know what, that may be right. So give it a chance, examine the passion, and examine how much you believe in yourself that you can fulfill it. That's my answers.
Okay, and Ruby says that she's in California, west of here is out of the USA. Where do you see me and how do I do that?
I can't mute Ruby. That's a whole reading session for you, hon. And so you can get a hold of me on my website, but it's going to be really difficult under these circumstances to try to get all those major details. But I think if you just go within, you've got the intuition. The answer is in there, because remember, I'm reading you. I'm not making up answers. I'm reading what's already in you. So if you go within, you might get some inspiration as to where to go in the meantime.
Now, Vincent, I have a couple questions. You know, I always like to ask all my guests. So you've given us a lot of great information tonight. But someone out there, Ruby's facing foreclosure. Someone might be out of work. What advice would you have for someone who's struggling right now?
All right, well, we talked about it earlier, Julie. The word faith has nothing to do with blind belief. That's what we used to think it was. When you're in a hole, your darkest spot, that's when you need to turn the heat on. You don't walk away, you don't turn it off, you turn it on, and then you turn it over. And what I mean by what you turn on is your faith. What you turn over are your worries and your fears. And you go, look, I can't handle this anymore. I can only do so much in the human portion of me. So I'm going to turn it over to the higher and greater part of me. I'm going to turn it over to the spirit in me. I'm going to turn it over to, and by the way, that's not woo stuff. We are spirit, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. So eventually everybody's going to have to acknowledge something out there. And turn it over and have faith that you're meant for better stuff. That the only reason why you're stuck is you bought into the crap in the world. You bought into what society said. You bought into someone telling you you're not good enough. And if you just let go and just be at peace, just for the moments, as many moments as you can, give yourself a break and say, I'm going to take a chance now, and I'm going to believe 100% in just me. And believe that I can create anything I want, and believe I deserve it. That's a lot of work in itself, but it's what you need to do, which is primary. There is no other answer that works. You need to turn it up and turn it over.
Okay. So then one step can people take right now, right after the show, tonight before bed, tomorrow morning to reawaken their brilliance? What thing can get them off the couch?
All right, just from listening tonight, I can tell you right now something's going to happen that will validate everything that I've been speaking about, because that's what's been happening to people. So as soon as this show ends, go into a quiet room, a quiet spot wherever you are, and meditate. Quiet your thoughts. Go within. Tap in, because we stirred the fire within your gut. Now use that fire, use that spark to get it going, to get that fireplace going, the starter, the lighter, whatever. Get it going by you going within, being quiet, meditate, ask that higher self what it is you need to do, and sit there quietly. Tap into the better part of you. Give yourself a chance to get to know your spirit, your soul, the best part of you. That's what you can do right this very minute, and then do it again every single day, every single night. And I promise you, you will see results, and you'll be contacting Julie or me to let us know all the great things that are happening.
Fantastic. Now, if people want to tell us what you've got coming up, and if they want to contact you, please give us your website.
Well, my website is www.vincentgenna.com, and you see the spelling of my name down there. I have all these incredible events coming up for Raleigh people, just so that you know. October 14th, put it on your calendar. Sunny Dawn Johnston is coming to town to do her living room book tour with me. We're actually doing it at the Indigo Hotel in RTP, because we've got